Hi there, it's Professor Merlot. Welcome to Intermediate Composition. This is the course overview, so I'm going to share my screen and hopefully hit the highlights and do it quickly. So here we are on our course homepage, and I'm currently in student view because this is what you will be seeing. So it's set up so you can navigate in a couple of different ways. We have some links over here on the left-hand side where you will find the announcements, a link to the syllabus, a link to the learning modules, link to a list of the assignments, a link to the discussion boards, a link where you can check your grades, and then a link for Zoom. Now, for some reason, my Zoom link does not work inside of Canvas. However, I do have a Zoom account, and we will be using Zoom if you need to meet with me virtually to discuss something. Of course, I'm open to using other platforms, like if you have a Discord account. I also have a Discord account, so we could meet in Discord or Google Meet or any of the other various platforms. I'm flexible as far as how you want to meet, whatever makes you most comfortable for these virtual meetings. So we have those links over here on the side, but I also have some quick links with images here that I think are the most important for you to access. So I have a link here for Start Here, and this takes you to the Getting Started module that the college provides for us. Now, since this course is being offered through UC Claremont, it is more or less Claremont specific. So if you are a student on one of the other campuses, you may want to look up the Getting Started module for your specific campus. There are a few things I do want to point out that are pretty much generic regarding whatever campus you're on. This one is the student Canvas tutorials, and I think this is very helpful. They have links for using the various things within Canvas to help you get familiar with it. So if you are a student who was using some other learning management system like Blackboard or Moodle or what have you, you may want to make yourself a bit familiar with how to navigate through Canvas, and you can find that in this student Canvas tutorials page. So they have short videos. They're usually about 3 to 5 minutes on how to do the various things within Canvas. We also have ARC, which is a video creation application within Canvas, as well as Kaltura Capture, which is the UC Canopy video creation tool that we use through Canvas. If you want to record a short video for your introductions, you can use these, or if you have some other application that you're familiar with, you can always save and upload a digital media file. And so yeah, and then they have frequently asked questions. So recently, probably 2 years ago, UC switched over from Blackboard to Canvas, so these are just answering questions, so it's kind of outdated now. But then at the bottom of the page, you also have numbers and links for various Canvas support and technology support. So this is a handy page to take a look at. We also have the links for tech help. I'm going to call your attention to the UC Claremont policy page. And this is also true for the rest of the campuses. We have the class academic attendance and Title IV policy. So I recommend that you read through this, read through course withdrawals as far as how it may affect your financial aid, what repercussions you may face if you withdraw and go below a full-time status. Then we have course evaluations, but I really want you to pay attention to the academic integrity policy. This includes a link to the Student Code of Conduct, as well as a link to the UC Student Guide to Academic Integrity. I really recommend you read through these so you know what you're dealing with as far as academic integrity policies for the college. Now, because this is a writing class, we are going to be concerned with plagiarism, right? I'm sure you learned in your Comp 1 classes that, you know, it was super, super important to cite your sources. And this is true. I mean, it's just something that you cannot escape. You really need to avoid plagiarism. So it's good to understand what plagiarism actually is. It consists of submitting another's published or unpublished work in whole or in part or in paraphrase as one's own without fully and properly crediting the author with footnotes, quotation marks, citations, or bibliographical references. So that's where you have to cite your sources, right? Submitting as one's own original work, material obtained from an individual agency or the internet without reference to the person, agency, or web page as the source of the material. Submitting as one's own original work, material that has been produced through unacknowledged collaboration with others without release in writing from collaborators. And then the last criteria here is submitting one's own previously written or oral work without modification and instructor permission. This is something that we call self-plagiarism. So not that it is a complete no-no, but if you wrote a paper for a different class and you wanted to submit it as an assignment for this class, you have to do some significant modification, that is, do some serious revising, and also you have to have my permission in order to do that. So these are the various types of plagiarism that we're concerned with here at UC. I also want you to take a look at the Student Code of Conduct, read through that to learn your rights and responsibilities as a UC student. The next thing we have here, there's a link for Claremont Library Support. I'm not going to click on that for you, but trust that if you need library support, you know where to find it. We also have information on Claremont tutoring and academic support services. If you are a Blue Ash or a main campus student, then of course you're going to want to reach out to those services on your specific campus. We have student accessibility resources and then student support services. I do want to say something about student accessibility. So I have a clause in my syllabus that addresses accessibility. And that is just more of a formality of saying, you know, we need to have documentation. If you have an IEP or some other accommodation documentation, you need to go through the proper channels in order to get that done. However, if you have a specific accommodation or a specific learning challenge, say you have ADHD or dyslexia, for example, please make me aware of that. That just helps me to help you as a learner. It helps me as an instructor and it helps you as a learner so that I can make those accommodations without having to worry about getting the official documentation. I know that some people may not be aware that they have learning challenges, but then realize, you know, I really struggle with reading. Just making me aware of what your individual challenges are will help me to help you as a student. So there is that. So that's the Getting Started manual. Let me go back to our home page and take you to the next link. Next one is the link to the syllabus. I don't want to spend a ton of time, but I do want to point out some things in the syllabus. First of all, we do have these handy navigational links at the top of the syllabus. So if you want to go right down to the course schedule, you can do that. I also have a link for a PDF that you can download and save to your computer so that you have that. And it's exactly the same thing that I have here. Of course, the important stuff here right at the top is instructor information. I am Valerie Malott, if you did not watch my introductory video. And you can reach me through email. My UC email is malatvj. Make sure that you spell my last name correctly. M-A-L-O-T-T, 1 L, 2 T's. malatvj@ucmail.uc.edu. Now, you can reach me by phone. I don't want to receive phone calls. This is an online class. I don't have a physical office that I go to. I work from home. I'm a part-time instructor, so I don't have an office that I can go to, and I don't have an office phone that you can leave messages on. However, I have a cell phone. And I get my email on my cell phone. So if I'm out somewhere, I still have access to the emails that you send to me. If you have an emergency and you really need to get in touch with me right away, you can send me a text. I will see it, and I will respond as soon as I possibly can. I check my email quite frequently throughout the day. If you want to get my attention right away, best thing is to send it early in the day. I'll see it right off the bat and I'll take care of it. And then again, at the end of the day, I take a look at my emails from work and, just make sure that I take care of things before I go off and do my evening family stuff. My goal is to, of course, reply as soon as I can, usually within 24 hours during the week. Weekends are a little bit different. However, I usually do respond quite promptly. If you have a quick question and it's not a serious one, you can always use the class discussion board. We have a frequently asked questions devoted pinned discussion board that you can start a thread and just ask a question. If I don't get to it, hopefully a classmate might be able to answer and help you. If you don't get your answer there, then you can send an email and, if you have something longer, a longer question or something that's a little bit more personal information, then you might want to write me a more formal email. And as I said, I can be reached by phone or by text, but I really ask you to reserve that kind of communication for emergencies. If you have no other way of reaching out to me, but you have my phone number in your phone, you can do that. So let's see, you can read about virtual classroom etiquette and tips. If you have a name or a set of pronouns that you prefer that I use, or you prefer that people in the class use, please let me know. I'm happy to call you by the name or the pronouns that make you feel the most comfortable, even if that's not your official name on the roster. I have had students who are non-binary. I have students who have been trans, and they come to me and say, I really prefer to be called by this pronoun or by this name, and I'm happy to do that. I am quite open and accepting of various perspectives and various identities. So, I'm still learning, but I'm definitely open. And, if there's something that makes you feel uncomfortable, something I've said or done, or something anybody in the class has said or done that makes you feel uncomfortable, please let me know. Please bring it to my attention. I'll try to make amends. Okay. So that's that. Again, accessibility, I addressed that. So let's take a look at the course overview. So you've all taken English Comp 1, or you've placed into this class. This is a writing and reading centered course, and it builds on what you learned in first year composition. And we're focusing your attention on theoretical underpinnings on how meaning is made, understood, and communicated within and across various discourse communities and genres. So that's the main focus of our course this semester. The main focus of intermediate composition is dealing with what we call discourse communities. And you'll be learning more about this in the readings and in the lectures and in the work. So we're going to be emphasizing critical reading, critical writing, emphasizing advanced research and analysis, and rhetorical sensitivity to differences in academic, professional, and public composition. So you're going to be challenged to engage in substantive projects drawing on primary research and source analysis. methods, and we'll be asking you to document, communicate, and reflect on your research. So this course you can think of as a course that is writing about writing. You're really kind of learning about writing as a field, and hopefully learning how you can take what you've learned in this course and apply it to the rest of your academic and professional lives. So first, we're going to be examining our own writing practices. How have our experiences and backgrounds shaped our understanding of writing? And then we'll examine writing genres and examine how they are both shaped by social context and influence and shape their users. And then lastly, we're going to have a more outward focus, taking a look at how writing is practiced in a particular discourse community. So again, we have that phrase there, discourse community. What the heck is it? We will learn. So these questions are designed to help you develop practices that will allow you to navigate new communities, use language in new ways, and write in the many and varied situations that you will find yourself in, both here at UC and beyond. So hopefully you learn things that will apply to your real lives, right? That is the goal. So we have the course learning outcomes for English 2089, which is intermediate composition. And that is to analyze how multiple discourse communities make, communicate, and debate meaning through various genres and writing practices. Use multiple tools and methods to conduct focused inquiry-based research and formulate original conclusions that are important to specific discourse communities. Produce various genres that reflect knowledge of the writing practices, purposes, and conventions of relevant discourse communities. Select appropriate social and collaborative processes for drafting and revising. And lastly, articulate what you know about how discourse communities make, communicate, and debate meaning, and how that knowledge can be used in your own academic, personal, social, and professional lives. So hopefully this will be interesting to you. This is the first time that I've taught 2089 at UC, so I'm really excited about teaching it. It's actually very close to some of the things I was learning in my last year of graduate school. So I'm really happy that I get to apply that knowledge to what we're doing in this class. Of course, as you know, this class is a completely online asynchronous course that does not have any regular meetings, virtually or otherwise. However, that does not mean we don't have deadlines for assignments. We do have deadlines. It's not work on it whenever you feel like it. We do have weekly deadlines. So you need to consult the course schedule, and there is one here as well as a printable one. And manage your time around those set deadlines. You will need to work out your own schedule on when you're going to do work. We have, our week is going to run from Monday. So it opens up midnight on Monday, Monday morning. And we go all the way through Sunday to 11:59 p.m. Most assignments will be due on Sundays. However, there will be a few assignments that have a Wednesday or a Thursday deadline, but that will usually be a very short assignment, usually a discussion board post or a journal entry. But the major writing assignments will always be due on Sundays. And of course, I am flexible and will, any of those midweek assignments, if you're having trouble getting to them and getting them done on time, I will always be happy to extend the due date to that Sunday. So yeah, there's that. We do have a required textbook. It is called Writing About Writing. I have a physical copy as well as an e-text. So the required one that you will see on the UC website is the e-text. However, if you want to purchase or rent a print version of the book, please make sure that you get the 4th edition. I know that there are other editions floating around out there, but the editors often make significant changes, and this text has been in print since, at least 2013, probably earlier than that. That was the first edition. So it's been several years since the first edition came out, and I know that there have been some significant changes since then. So it's always best to go with the edition that your instructor states. If you want to have a physical copy, I like having physical copy so I can page through and I don't have to sit at my computer and read. You may be completely different. But if you want to get a print copy, make sure that it's the 4th edition of Writing About Writing. Any other resources that we use will be made available within the Canvas weekly modules. I will have lecture videos. I may have some other YouTube videos, things that I pull from the internet, other websites, and any other learning materials. And I will make those available each week in our modules on Canvas. Required technology, you know what to do. You can just read through that. I will make an emphasis that for your written assignments, that is your short papers, any rough drafts and any revisions, those all need to be submitted as documents. So I am a Microsoft person, which means that I prefer to have Microsoft Word doc or docx. You can also submit a PDF. If you are composing on a Mac, or if you're composing within Google Docs, then I ask that you know how to save your files as either a doc, docx, or PDF. PDF is probably the easiest, although for me to provide comments to you, well, actually, if I provide comments within Canvas, it's usually not an issue, whether it's doc or PDF. But I am not able to read iPages. So if for some reason you send me an iPage, I can't read them. So make sure that you upload doc, docx, or PDF, and that's usually specified in the assignment itself. As far as assessments and activities, you have 3 major projects and then several shorter assignments. And there's a breakdown further on down the page for that. We have the course schedule. Here is the downloadable PDF. This schedule may change. So always go by what is posted in the weekly modules instead of resorting to this document that I've given you at the beginning of the semester, because sometimes our learning needs change throughout the course of the semester, and I have to kind of adapt and change things a little bit depending on what's going on in our lives. And you know, if something catastrophic happens, we may need to revamp and change things a bit. But this is the general outline. It's just a general schedule of the proposed topics, readings, and assignments. Again, it might change. If I decide there's too much reading or not enough reading, I may make some adaptations. So that will always be posted on Canvas, those changes. But this is just to give you a general idea of the course load and how much reading you're going to have to do and how much writing you're going to have to do. I don't have all of the journal or discussion board assignments, but I do have due dates. You can expect something due every week. It may be a short assignment or it may be a longer assignment. But we do have those 3 projects, and essentially we're devoting 5 weeks to each of those major writing projects. So if you think of it in those terms, I think that'll be helpful. Notice we do wind up the course on the 24th, and then we go into finals week. We do not have a final exam for this class. However, I will be making the 1 to 2 page course reflection, which is a short writing assignment that will be due during finals week on the 28th. But other than that, we do not have a comprehensive final exam. Here we have the criteria here. So project 1 will be a literacy narrative. It will, these papers will now probably be anywhere from 5 to 8 pages, with the discourse community project probably being a bit longer. But yeah, I would say a minimum of 5 pages. And there will be more information posted on these major projects as we get closer and get further into the semester. So project 1, literacy narrative, is 20% of the grade. Project 2, which is the genre analysis, will be 20% of the grade. Then the final third project is the discourse community project. That is worth 40%, and the reason for that is it's actually comprised of several smaller assignments as well as a longer paper. So there will be a paper proposal, there may be a bibliography assignment. I'm still thinking about how I want to present that to you, but this is a significant weight to your grade. So this will be a big focus of your work this semester. Then again, as I said, we have that final 1 to 2 page course reflection, which will be worth 10% of your grade. And then the final 10% of your grade will be made up of some of those shorter papers, discussion board posts, and journals, and there will be 15 of those. So you can kind of think of that as 1 per week, at least. There may be a couple where we're doubled up. I think the first week we actually have a short paper and a journal post that will be due. And then of course the course grades, and then my grading policy. So for late work, I'm expecting you to adhere to the assignment deadlines as you go through the course. It's not a course that you are going to do at your own pace. I neglected to say that to my online students last semester, and I think I had some students who just thought, you know, if they get things to me by the end of the semester, that's fine. You know, it's an online class, who cares? We're not meeting face to face, right? But the thing is, you really do need to stay on top of your assignments and to arrange your schedule so that you are getting your assignments done on in a timely manner, because I do have assignments that are kind of building one upon the other. So it's really important that you get your work done as soon as you possibly can. However, if you need to request additional time to work on your assignment, please let me know as soon as possible. All you have to do is email me and say, I need some extra time. I'm happy to be flexible about that, especially now when we're experiencing this new wave of Omicron variant with COVID. I know that we have a lot of crazy things. You may have to isolate, or you may have to take extra shifts at work. Life happens, right? And I understand that. We're all human, and I'm willing to work with you if something happens. But if you fall seriously behind in your work, where it's a real struggle for you to catch up, you may not be able to pass the course. And at that point, I may suggest that you withdraw. I don't like to suggest that. I like to give students the opportunity to work. But I know that this is a crazy time, and I know that we're facing some really unusual challenges. So, you know, it's one of those things that sometimes you just can't deal, and something has to go. So that's late work. Revisions. So the thing with revisions, your revisions, you will have a rough draft and you will have a revision. And your rough draft, even though it's not graded, it's graded on a incomplete basis, so it's not given any points, so it doesn't take away from your grade. However, if you do not do a rough draft, you will receive a 5% reduction off the final essay grade if you only hand me in 1 paper. Revision is just such a significant part of the writing process that I can't neglect when you haven't done a rough draft. When you do a rough draft, that provides me an opportunity to give you some feedback. It also provides your peers some opportunity to give you some feedback and to interact with one another, student to student, which is really an important part in this whole collaborative process of writing. Writing isn't done in a vacuum. And so it's important that you get these rough drafts, even if you're the type of person who writes a nearly flawless rough draft. It's still important to get that feedback and get another pair of eyes, at least 1 pair of eyes, to look at your writing and say, this is pretty good, however, you could improve in this way, right? To be open to that, receiving that feedback, but also to be open and providing feedback to others. It's a very important part of the writing process. So I don't want you to neglect those rough drafts just because they don't have points attached to them. I don't think it's fair to grade rough drafts, but I feel that rough drafts are a very important part of the writing process, and revising, of course. Online course participation, you can take a look and read through that. Then we have the grading scale and the English comp general grading rubric. An A grade, a B grade, a C grade, and then whatever is considered below average. Then we have course dates and deadlines. We have the, this is a full semester course, so I just have the dates for course withdrawals and drops. The last day to drop this course is January 24th, which is a Monday. And the last day to withdraw from classes is April 1st. Our spring break is March 14th through March 20th. And if you go back up here to our course schedule, you will see that is week 10, the beginning of our third unit, and there will be no work required that week. Yay. So if you need to catch up, you can catch up, or if you want to get a bit of a head start, you can also get a bit of a head start on the next unit. And then Monday the 17th is MLK, so we won't be having anything due then, but the course will be open. Then here at the bottom of the page, this course summary section will gradually get longer as I contribute more information to the course and I get the rest of the course built. I do apologize that I don't have more stuff up at the moment, but this course was given to me at the beginning of this week, the week before it started. And so I'm just scrambling to get things slapped together for you and to get started. So there will be more information that you will see pop up as we get further into the semester. So that's the syllabus. Then we have the frequently asked questions. So this is the discussion board. We have a FAQ about online courses, about COVID-19, and my guiding principles for this class. But if you go to the general discussions tab, you will see that I have two pinned discussions. So we have this one, and then I have written assignment formatting and submission guidelines. And that's just some general information. You're probably familiar with MLA format from Comp 1. But in this class, I'm going to give you the option for using the style format with which you are most comfortable using. It may be MLA, or if you are a major who uses APA or Chicago in your major, then I am open to having you use those format and citation styles. Typically, we want your papers to be double spaced using a 12-point font with 1-inch margins, and to be submitted in doc, docx, or PDF format. And here I have a suggestion to save your documents with information that identifies the assignment along with your last name. So I have some examples here. For example, writing spaces Malott, or literacy narrative draft Malott. All written assignments must be uploaded as files. Do not submit short papers, drafts, or revisions in text submission area of the page. Usually you don't have that option anyway for those written assignments, but I just stated that anyway. So those are the discussion board things. So if you have a question, you can always click here. You can always add to the discussion, or if you want to reply to this and you have a question, you can just click on reply and then type out your question and then post it. And if you have some trouble understanding how to use the discussion board, you can, of course, always use those Canvas tutorials to learn more about how to do your discussion post. Then we have a link about your teacher. That's just some information on me. Then we have a link for class resources. This is a work in progress. Right now I just have Purdue OWL, MLA, APA, and Chicago websites posted. There will be more stuff that I add throughout the semester. And then we have the link to the learning modules. So we already saw the getting started module, and I have the first week, which is almost complete. Most of the modules will be formatted in this similar style. I'll have an overview and readings page, and then whatever writing assignments or additional materials, they will be posted here. So if you click on this page, and you'll see it's just a skeleton right now. I have the placeholder for an overview video. I will be doing a brief overview video of what's expected for week 1. I have the reading assignment, which is chapter 1, and then a to-do list with the various assignments that are due in the week. So look for the week 1 overview video, which will be on this page, and then we have the various assignments. And there will usually be a rubric attached to those. I just haven't done the rubric yet. So that is essentially how the course is set up. Of course, you can click on these various links here too in the sidebar. If you click on assignments, it will show you all the upcoming assignments, again, discussions, then any grades, anything that you can check to see if it's been graded. And usually you will have over in the right-hand sidebar, you will have recent feedback, and then the Zoom if there's any upcoming meetings. So that is how our course is set up. I'll stop sharing that and stop yammering. So look for that Module 1 overview and get started. If you have any questions regarding any part of the course, anything that's not clear to you, feel free to email me, malatvj@ucmail.uc.edu. Okay, have a fantastic week. Bye-bye.